That's right. It's another late night and time for another reach into the Just Giggle grab bag. And tonight we're pulling out. Ooh, I feel something mythic. Oh, look! It's the bus stop. Just Giggle sketch number 15. And oh my goodness, it's a Sagar sketch. Tiki! Tiki, at
Yeah.
long
What
last!
up? What up?
Tiki, at long last. We have a Sagar sketch. Again, it's an early one. Do you have any comprehension as to what this means?
No, Dragon, because all my attention is going towards my upcoming trip in 3 days.
Well, screw that noise, man. We're starting something mythic. It's the Saga of Saagar.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit, son!
Saga of Saagar.
We've been waiting for months to do this, Dragon.
That we have. That we have. This one's been cooking for a while, folks, and we've dusted it off, and you know what? It's time. It's simmered long enough to perfection. It's time.
It's like a fine wine, Dragon. We just had to let it sit for a while.
Time is upon us to bask in the ambiance of JGI's play a Saga Shake.
Look at the beard! Look at it! Look at it! Well, actually, you won't look at it in this sketch.
Some people might be wondering, especially out of the sketches that we're going to get to within this month, why we didn't start with a certain one that would be kind of darkly thematic to this week. But we're building up to what's appropriate, folks. It's a saga for a reason. We're seeing saga from the early onset to kind of like the eminence that will be kind of our grand finale of sketches.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we're going to take the opportunity with the Saga of Saagar to kind of learn about the guy, kind of piece by piece as we go through kind of the chronology, and basically you can track the chronology by kind of the growth of the beard, one could say.
Oh, absolutely. And Dragon, I am growing a beard myself, so I am definitely invested in this saga, the saga of the facial hair, if you will.
Wait, why are you growing a beard?
I don't know. I just feel like it.
Have you ever grown like a beard before?
Honestly, the longest my beard has ever gotten was probably how you saw it during when I was trying to grow it out for the Jim Henson thing.
Right, and that didn't turn out at all.
I got pictures of it in full makeup. All right.
All right.
That's about all I needed.
I recall that Jim Henson thing going belly up. Are you sure? Like, did you actually get the Kermit and everything? You had the whole
yes, I have pictures of it. All I needed was the pictures, Dragon. I didn't need to go out on Halloween night. I needed the pictures, and I got the pictures.
Hey, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. It just felt like on the big day, it's like, nothing.
But I usually don't go out on Halloween night anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. As long as I did the photo shoot, I was good. Anyways, we're drugging up ancient history here.
Anywho, long beard, let's focus on the one that matters right now. Okay.
Right.
That's right. We're very excited to get into the Saga of Saagar. It's gonna be really neat. Real neato torpedo, one might say.
Neato torpedo. Hashtag Neato torpedo.
Yeah. Oh, the freakazoid pulls.
Oh boy. Dragon, I am like crossing my fingers that I actually see Paul Rugg at Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be so jealous if you see.
Would you like to elaborate on why that is a possibility?
All right, so you have to think. If you know the name, you're probably gonna have to give it. I think it's Puppet Time. Is that what it's?
Puppet Up.
Puppet Up. Right. It has a clever name. I keep forgetting that. Okay, Puppet Up. The point is, so Brian Henson, of course, Jim Henson's son, he started an improv group of puppets that kind of led to works like the Happy Timers. It's basically very much improv based, kind of adult comedy with puppets, essentially. And many of the players that are involved in that, and you include some really talented folks like Paul Rugg. For the kids out there, Paul Rugg, of course, the voice of Freakazoid, the voice of Dr. Scratch, and sorry, wrong one. Paul Rugg, he does the Mr. Director, as in the Jerry Lewis character from Animaniacs. Boy, he does a lot of voices. He's a writer, co-creator extraordinaire. I mean, you'll know this guy's voice. He's just he's absolutely delightful. Point being, I have a strong affinity for Paul Rugg. It's my big attachment to Freakazoid, and he's performed with Brian Henson many a time. And despite the fact Brian Henson, from what we know, will not be there.
Brian Henson himself will not be there, but the crew will be.
Yes, and of course, as I stated, one of the regular players in Puppet Up. Again, once T confirmed that it was indeed Puppet Up, that kind of signals to me. Well, I mean, Paul Rugg is a member of that acting troupe, of that kind of performers, of that group of
Dragon,
improv performers.
if I see, I'll put it this way, Dragon. If I see Puppet Up, we're definitely going to go to the not the last performance of the night. I'll put it that way. We're going to go to like maybe the middle performance of the night. And if I see that Paul Rugg is there, I will make it a point to hit up an additional performance.
Good to hear.
All right.
Anyway, so Sagar, let's talk about Sagar overall team. We've seen Sagar a number of times in other sketches, and basically what we're doing here with kind of the grab bag as well is we're trying to hit the greatest hits we haven't gotten to yet. And of course, all these Sagar sketches, we kind of said, let's just hit them all within the Saga of Saagar. Make
and
kind
honestly,
of like
there's some really good stuff in here.
There is, and kind of make it a study of the guy himself, kind of a celebration we kind of had in the back burner, just kind of worked out coincidentally. Like, it's one of the last great kind of theme months we're going to have.
Well, Dragon, I've always really appreciated Sagar. I mean, I don't really I don't want to say cliche when I say this, but I feel like he definitely represents a bit of diversity for the JGI lineup. You know what I mean? He definitely is a different face in the community. He's very unique, to say the least.
The thing that fascinates me about Sagar is that Sagar, in many senses of the word, is kind of like he's the background glue of JGI.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like he's maybe not a staple, but he's definitely kind of like he's a familiar face within the bunch. He's kind of the glue that holds the work together. Like he's the additional support you need for the sketch. He populates the sketch. It's kind of his lot and things. Let me give you a Muppet comparison because we mentioned puppets earlier on. And
okay.
Let me put it this way. Okay, when we do the Holy Trinity, I usually go with the Justice League comparison, but let me hit you with the Muppet comparison for the JGI players. All right. So Joshua Thomas, very much the Kermit the Frog of the group.
Of course,
you have Poncio. Poncio is Fozzie Bear, no question.
Oh my God, Poncio is like absolutely Fozzie Bear. Fozzie Bear is Poncio's spirit animal.
Of course, and obviously with the whole moving right along of Joshua Thomas going to L.A. with his buddy, from San Antonio to L.A. with Poncio in tow. It's very much kind of moving right along. Miss Piggy, of course, Piper Henson, no question there, just in terms of just kind of fun and just like utter just joy you feel.
Right.
It'll be Piper Henson.
Would you like to hear my Miss Piggy impression?
God, all right.
I do hope to meet Mr. Paul Rugg on stage at Knott's Berry Farm. Anyways.
All right. Then I would. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm getting to the point. I'd say Mark Sipka would be Gonzo the Great.
Oh, Sipka is definitely Gonzo for sure.
And then that would bring us to that would bring us to Sagar, and I would claim that Sagar's probably Rolf the dog.
Yes, he's absolutely Rolf, and not just because Rolf is hairy, and Sagar is also oftentimes hairy.
Yes, what I'm getting is basically Sagar brings to the table. I'm going to get into this kind of laying at the beginning of our pipe for the Sagar saga of it all here, but Sagar very much is the everyman of JGI. He brings the everyman quality in spades, and he does, and it's really remarkable. Especially through this month, through this season, we're going to notice a lot of just kind of Sagar. Pretty much his role is kind of the likable everyman, or kind of the everyman in a situation within the comedy. And I think he conveys that so well, and I think that stems from. So to get into a little bit of the origins and kind of laying out some stuff with Sagar. Sagar started off as Joshua Thomas's roommate. Basically, the idea is Joshua Thomas, after that moving right along sequence we keep describing, he's going to L.A.
Hey, look, Alex, a fork in the road.
Oh, what do you know? Fork in the road. So the idea is that Joshua Thomas, after the UCB days, the Upright Citizens Brigade, basically the formation of the improv group, and of course Yuka's just kind of Mickey Rooney mode, like, hey, we got camera equipment, let's put on a show, essentially. Around this time, Joshua Thomas, he's kind of hunkering down in L.A., and I believe he moves in with Sagar, and basically it's kind of like a roommate mentality initially. I'm inferring a little bit here. The idea is, they're pretty two chill guys, pretty much just kind of hanging out, being roommates, and presumably to kind of fill in some blanks here, I'd imagine that Joshua Thomas is doing these sketches, and essentially the way it went is that he invited Sagar to take part in these sketches, and I'd imagine that Sagar's a little reluctant at first, and that's why he has kind of these small bit parts at the beginning, like Bus Stop, for example. I shouldn't say bit parts, but you know what I mean, like kind of like not exactly the most intricate roles at the start of things. I mean, I believe the first thing he was in was not this. I believe the first thing he was in was the Spider-Man parody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like for the first things he did were the Spider-Man parody and Troubling Decisions. Those were probably the first two things that he did. And of course, he's kind of the background henchman in
Troubling
Spider-Man.
Decisions was legitimately a really good early one for him, though.
Certainly, and that's the thing. Like, I think he's getting more into it as it goes on. Is kind of what I'm getting at here. The idea is kind of coming out of his shell and kind of being able to really kind of really invest himself in these roles. And Tiki, here's the arc I'm laying out for the Saga of Saagar. Here, you ready? Here's the fascinating research that I did on.
I don't think I'm ready, Dragon, but let's go for it anyways.
So apparently, Saagar in his youth he desired to be an actor, but the industry essentially they tried putting him in a box. They tried putting him in the box at the time, which is pretty much you're the brown friend of the terrorist. His own words.
Oh Jesus!
So very much, so Saagar essentially he had a desire to become an actor, which I want to say was apropos to what his parents wanted for him. I believe. I forget what the occupation they wanted for him was. The point being was like with any JGI player or basically with anyone just going into the acting field, you're going to have like a little bit of there's always a little bit of concern and worry. It's almost like the Greg Sestero mom thing, where it's like, oh man, Greg, you can't go out there with this crazy guy.
Yeah, sure.
That sort of thing. Where obviously there's a little bit of there's a lot of fear, the perennial fear, especially the riskiest of all occupations in the acting field, presumably. So the idea is he's kind of put in the box, which at that time that's kind of bear in mind again, Tika, this is very pivotal. So listen very carefully. Again, this is pre-beard. Okay, pre-beard. All of this, no beard.
Gotcha.
So obviously, even
facial hair, check.
Free facial hair, he's put in these boxes. It's going to be very pivotal. So initially, he was. So basically, he kind of really much refused this and be like, I've refused to be put in the box. I would imagine this would be kind of a driving force. Basically, I think kind of fate kind of worked in his favor.
What's in the box? Not a racial stereotype.
You got it. And that's what I'm saying, Teague. It's the fact that Saagar's kind of put in the box by the industry, and he's just kind of refusing the cow. Basically, he refused all those roles, Teague. That's what I'm getting at. He was offered all those roles. He said, I refuse to be put in this box of being a stereotype. I'm not going to take these roles, which, as you can imagine, especially if you're the starving actor, makes things difficult. So very much, he's
but also like just super respectable for, just your integrity, just in general.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Man, I was just looking at the background of Saagar. I'm already invested in him as a side character in our JGI bio.
For sure.
I just think I think it's so fascinating. Again, like he's a guy who's like he would have been offered roles under the sun, like he could have been given regular work, but he turned it down for pride. And I presume this would be kind of leading to some downtime in which Joshua Thomas kind of walks into his life. They become roommates, and the idea is just kind of like. It was Joshua Thomas, Poncio, and Saagar's kind of like the three. They kind of became frequent sketch collaborators, and they became buddies, and kind of became involved in the greater kind of JGI loop of it all.
Right.
So basically, JGI gave Saagar room to kind of spread his wings, and basically giving him roles that he wouldn't have gotten, ignoring the other kind of obvious roles, So again, that kind of leads them to be that binding staple, or kind of the glue of the piece. It's just kind of as kind of the initial background actor, kind of turned like kind of the support system of JGI. Just kind of like the guy he's always there.
Okay, cool.
He's kind of that guy. It's like, hey, it's that guy, and of course that guy has a name. And it is Saagar.
Alrighty then. So, Dragon, of course, the sketch we have at hand is going to be perhaps the quickest sketch that we've ever covered. It's literally one single solitary joke.
That is true. Yes, this is by far as I can tell, and as far as I've seen, I would argue the briefest JGI sketch ever made.
It's literally 1 minute and 1 second.
I was truly flabbergasted when I got to the end of this, because I think I remember watching it once in a binge of JGI sketches once, and I then just because of that I kind of forgot. Oh God, it's only a minute.
Yep. But you know what? Screw it, Dragon. We're the grab bag, and folks, we're coming pretty close to covering every single sketch that this channel's ever made. And God damn it, we're completionists, and we're going to get through them all. So let's do it, Dragon.
All right, so this was written and this was directed and edited by Joshua Thomas and written by Poncio.
You don't say it was directed and edited by Joshua Thomas. How shocking.
I know, but still.
He's got
Alexander.
1 foot on the dock and 1 foot on a rocky boat.
One could say many hats and just to advertise it. Hey, folks, if you want to see a sketch where Joshua Thomas wears many forms of headgear and wigs and hats, look for Batman's audition for SNL.
Yes,
But Tiki,
absolutely.
let's talk about something even more.
We have to make this brief, man. But go ahead. Quick fire it.
Well, why don't I turn it over to you then?
All right, folks, check out Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world. I got the link right in the description. Folks, what's going to happen is you are going to check out episode 1. You're going to be like, oh, this is a charming premise. We got this Harley Quinn and the Joker, like 2 iconic comic book characters, moving to LA. And we got this charming roommate character played by the great Piper Henson. And what's going to happen, folks, is at the end of episode 1, there's going to be a big cliffhanger. There's going to be a big revelation. It's going to hook you in. It's going to be like, oh my God, this is not like any other spoof or fan film I've ever seen. This is serious. This is a full-blown series. I need to check out the next episode. Check out the next episode and the next one and the next one after that. And you get to episode 5, and episode 5 blows your mind, folks. It blows your mind. And what's going to happen? Well, you're going to realize that there are no new episodes left. But alas, Dragon, there is an episode left. Because we know it is the world-famous Joshua Thomas Prince vault. We've been in there, Dragon. By all accounts, for the JGI grab bag canon, we might still be in there. I don't know. But, alas, folks, what you're going to do is you're going to watch episode 5. You're going to spread it around. You're going to tell your friends. You're going to share it on Twitter. You're going to share it on Facebook. Anyone who's a fan of these characters, anyone who's a fan of reinterpretations of the Joker. And this year's the reinterpretation of the Joker, but the Joker in Harley Quinn in the Joker versus the real world is very much a classic Joker. Like a classic kind of like Mark Hamill meets Jack Nicholson meets Heath Ledger kind of Joker. Like the best of all the worlds kind of combined Joker. And what you want to do is you want to watch it over and over. We need to get it to 1 million views. Isn't that right, Dragon?
Absolutely.
All right.
Not so easy, is it?
Link in the description, folks. Link in the description. Spread it around. Okay, Dragon, do you think that we can crack this out in 4 minutes, my friend? That's my challenge to you.
Well, yeah, we can, but we want to?
Well, yes, because Sandy's going to be waiting in the wings, and you know Sandy.
I say let him wait, but okay, we'll do it your way.
All right. So, what is the thing that we giggle this episode, Dragon, as opposed to Google?
We giggle public transportation. Public
transportation. Dragon, what are your views on public transportation, my friend?
Not crazy about it personally. It's what it is. I mean, no, I'm not. I'm not personally. I'm not a fan of public transportation, but it's. I think in the olden days, public transportation might have been a little bit more glamorous. I'm talking about the really olden days. I mean, like 80s New York public transportation. That's more dangerous public transportation. I'm talking about like the 30s, the 30s, the 50s sounds like really great public transportation. Like, you can chat somebody up and just kind of meet some friendly strangers.
We'll go on a trolley car and go to the Ghirardelli chocolate fountain.
I'm saying, San Francisco is probably the best place you're going to find any public transportation with.
Well, yeah, probably.
That's what I mean. Point being, I'm not a huge fan of public transportation.
And even San Francisco, pardon the French, there is shit on the streets, literally everywhere, Dragon.
I believe that. I do. So, also one little footnote here. I would speculate. So this is a Ponzio written sketch, and this feels like an off the wall. Ponzio. This feels like an off the wall Ponzio idea, and basically kind of
Dragon,
the first
this is basically like what happens if a brain sketch gets greenlit.
Exactly, and that's what I'd argue. I'd argue this is like one of the initial times in which that happened. I think this is like the first time Ponzio. I know it's like sketch number 15, but many a time these are shot out of order. So I don't know exactly when this one was made. Regardless, early on or not, I think it's like one of those early examples in JGI's catalog of stuff here, where Ponzio has like an off the wall idea, like much like a brainstorming session, where Ponzio basically throws out an idea, and it gets realized, and basically this kind of like green lights the way for the others down the line. It's like this lights the way for the others. Like, hey, we did that, we did that bus stop sketch, and we got away with that. We can get away with anything. And it starts the chain.
Right.
Oh, so
Okay,
public
and
transportation. Yeah.
importantly, this episode also co-stars Julian Silver, another one of our favorite regulars on the grab bag.
Certainly. Julian Silver is always kind of fun when he pops up. Remember, I put him in that Harley Quinn and Joker Christmas pitch that we did.
Yes.
Anyway, so public transportation in itself, we have a great subversion of our expectation right under our nose, which basically that's the clever joke of the whole piece without getting to all of it right now. It's just like, I love that it's kind of under our nose what you expect. Okay, public transportation, bus stop, pretty straightforward, right?
I mean, yes and no. Like, it is a straightforward sketch, but it does not go where you expect it to go.
I'm saying, you like as you're watching, okay, it's called the bus stop and public transportation, given the way JGI usually does things, okay, but then you forget, oh yeah, the way JGI does things, right? So
right,
we have Julian Silver.
Really quick, we have Sagar sitting down. He's sitting down with Julian Silver at the bus stop. And things are a little bit awkward, Dragon. It kind of emulates the social awkwardness of sitting down next to a stranger at the bus stop and kind of like, should we make casual small talk? Should we not? Is it more awkward to not say anything than to say something? Dragon, I'm sure you've been in that sort of situation before.
Well, Tiki, it's more hilarious to me. It's less the awkwardness. It's more the fact it's a tiny bench.
Yes, it is a tiny bench, and the tiny benches play for comedy, to be sure.
Because if you look at the body language on Saga, what he's doing there is just like, like kind of curling himself up, because you want to look a little bit of distance between you and the complete stranger, but it's quite funny.
All right. So let's see. So, like I said, there's a little bit of awkward silence that goes on between the two of them, and then Saagar, just kind of to break the awkward silence, kind of just asks like, "So, are you waiting for the bus?" And then what happens, Brecken? What is our big conversion?
Okay, well, Julian says no, but I just want to emphasize, I love that it's such a fairly obvious bit of small talk. It's like, oh, you waiting for the bus? Yes, of course he's waiting for the white thing. He's just sitting there. And then Julian really brings it home here. He just kind of looks to him and with a smile on his face says no. He gets up and he just shoots into the air. I'm not making that up. He just basically directly makes a Superman pose, and he's out of there. And basically, our straight man then looks up in awe, and it's such a well-timed reaction. We linger on. Then we have basically a different orchestration of the X-Men cartoon, of the X-Men '90s cartoon music. And that's literally it. Wow. Anyway, so yes, that's all she wrote. Really, it's it's the end of the sketch. It's that's all. I know, folks. It's that brief, like a fleeting moment. It's gone. But again, sketch to it. Like it's kind of what's not said, what's not immediately said, and just kind of what's communicated with the two of them with those little interactions, like kind of squirming around in like a small space. Julian just kind of like an old passive kind of happy guy because again he can fly. He's just kind of there, just waiting to fly, making them. So basically, what if you walked up to a guy waiting for a dramatic, just kind of like, yeah, I can fly. He's waiting to show off his ability.
Oh God.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's just waiting there, if he's just kind of waiting there.
Like, all right, you're asking me, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you my true potential, and you're going to just be in awe of it.
And again, whether it's maybe not a glamorous role for Sagar, but again, a realistic role for Sagar. If you were in that guy's shoes, that's probably how you'd react, aside from maybe a few explicit...
Well, I mean, it's a good place to start for Sagar, because Sagar in this situation is very much the everyman to the crazy situation going down within the sketch.
Absolutely. All right.
So, Dragon, I think that's really just about it. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward sketch when you get down to it.
I think the X-Men pull's a little strange, but I'll go with it. All
right. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts for me. This it feels indicative of JGI, its early output model. Originally, they kind of put out three at a time, and this feels like a short mini sketch that kind of put out 3 at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's one joke, pretty simple yet clever. You know, it's a clever spin on public transportation, and the operative gag being okay. He is public transportation for that guy, while you think it's going to be just going on a bus. So it's pretty funny. You know, there's more, again, as I said earlier, I think there's more to interpret of what's not being said between Saga and Julian. Just kind of being like just kind of the interaction, followed by just the guy really confident about like, oh yeah, I can fly. And definitely by far the briefest JGI sketch. In some senses, kind of symbolic of Sagar, the everyman walking into this crazy, sketchy world of JGI. One might say. See what I did there?
Right.
Sketchy. Puns. Okay.
Sketchy. Get it?
Well, that's pretty much it. It's bus stop. It's a quick laugh, but sometimes one hop will do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's definitely the briefest sketch we've ever covered, to be sure, but I got a kick out of it none the same. I like that it's just so brief that it's just almost kind of like a work of art unto itself in its brevity, Dragon. It really is. And I do think that Julie Silver shines just as much as Sagar shines. I think the two of them bounce off of each other really well in the 1 minute of screen time that they do share together. So, yeah, I thought this was a good thing to start off with, really showing Sagar in that everyman role.
All right, we're going to see that saga unfold before our eyes on the next installment of the Saga of Saagar during our next reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag.
You can fly, you can fly, you can fly, you can fly, you can fly.
You can fly.